Andrew, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about your delivery and talk a little bit about, things you can do to help yourself throw a little bit with more power, get more consistency. Obviously, we want to throw as many strikes as we can, but we want to throw as many strikes as we can with the most force, the most velocity, with the least amount of strain on our arms. So we're just going to make sure that we're going to go through and that you're in the best spot to kind of help yourself out there. All right. Especially with guys with your age, pitching is so complex and such a difficult move that it really has, almost more than half to do with strength, coordination, and flexibility. And that's something that's going to come as you get older. It's going to become easier. All right. So a lot of things that I'm going to talk about you may not physically be able to do yet, but if you kind of have an idea of what that is and work on it, you can make some adaptation neurologically to help your body kind of get a little bit stronger there. But it's just something to have in place, so you know it. You're working on it now. So as you get older and get stronger, it's going to be a lot easier for you. All right. So the biggest thing with you here is consistency with your mechanics, and just using your body a little bit differently. All right. The thing I want you to see here is we're going to go through and watch your first throw here. All right. So you can see this one is actually really pretty solid. The way your hands are working, your legs are working. All right, this is a pretty good motion. Okay, now we're going to go through to the next one. All right, now you can see that you bring your arm, you're kind of stalling up there, your arm goes up, that front arm comes back into your chest, whereas before, it comes up, it goes out, and it stays out. All right, so now it's going out, it's coming back in. All right, you're opening up a little bit earlier. Next one. All right, you're coming up, going out and coming back in. Okay, so just get yourself into a consistent spot. All right, I'm going to go through and I'm going to analyze these last two, because this last one is more so what we want to look like. All right, I'm going to just point through, just watching that glove come out there. All right, you can see you're probably landing pretty closed off, which is pretty good. And then you can watch on these next ones, you can see that you're popping open here. All right, so just find a spot to get consistent. All right, I'm going to go through and we're going to look at this one here. All right, so you're setting up at a pretty good spot. All right, drop these hands down a little bit, get them closer to your body. I just always talk about getting in a position that you can hold forever. If you can hold that glove next to your body a little bit easier than you can out in front of your body, you just want everything to be in balance. All right. Also, kick this leg, move that leg so it's a little bit closed off. So if your back leg, it's a little bit in front of that front leg, that's going to get your hips in a good position to get you started. All right. Then we'll go through and look at what your head's doing. So we want this upper body and this head to have no movement when we start our delivery. So you can see you're going back and over that back leg. All right. Get it already preset over that back foot. All right. So get it set right there, so you're not wasting this movement. All that is your lower body's weight. You're not distributed correctly. All right, you're probably out on this front foot or something. We want to make sure that the back of your back leg is getting all the weight. You want to make sure that you're loaded up on the inside part of this knee and ready to get your body going forward. All right. So the biggest thing that you can do is just to get that initial start. All right, you're going to have those hands drop down a little bit, and then so your hands already want to kind of come back down there. All right, so just make sure that your hands are there. Another thing that we need to have happen is your leg is at its height right here, and your hands are already broken. We want to see those hands still together. Ball and glove, hands haven't moved yet. All right, we want to try to time this so your hands are together, and you want to see that your knee starts to go down, then your hands start to break, and your hips go forward all at the same time. So you're just a little out of sync right there. You want to try to make sure that your hands are still together in this position. Also, we also want to always see a nice neutral spine angle. We don't want to see any leaning back, all right? So try to keep that upper body nice and straight, all right? So in this position, your ball's still in the glove. Now everything breaks, and now you start driving your hips down the mound, all right? Now these hips are going down the mound. These hips are leading, so we don't ever want to see that foot get in front of the hips until we start to come open, all right? And now in this position, you're keeping this glove out over that front foot. It's like it's almost kind of following that front foot. So you're swinging that glove out over that front foot. It's still out, because your body instinctively wants to go to your glove. So if you're keeping your glove into your body, you're not going to get that transfer of energy from that back side to the front side, and you're not going to be able to get out over that front foot. All right, so you want to make sure that this glove staying out over that front foot to help yourself extend down the mound and to help your body stay more closed and just allow that upper body to work in relation to that lower body. All right. So one of the things we look at too is that foot strike. All right. So foot strike is right when that front foot hits the ground. All right. And you're right here. So it's kind of tough to see what exactly is straight towards the catcher, but it looks like it might be somewhere about right here. So you can see that you're really far open. If you just draw a line from that back middle foot, we want to land somewhere around this line here. All right, and again, that's a strength issue. It's hard to do at your age, but we want to use those legs. The legs are the biggest thing. All right, at this point, I'd like to see this knee already. Whoops, I need to get a line here. I'd like to see this knee already starting to kind of rotate down to the ground, so you're getting this angle, all right? And that's just going to help that leg. It's going to get you farther down the mound out here, all right? Upper body-wise, you're looking pretty good. You got the nice arm angle, or your upper body angle. You have a pretty good arm angle here, all right? We just need to make sure that this elbow and glove are out somewhere around this position. Somewhere around this position out here. We don't ever want that glove to get above that elbow. So somewhere around here in this position, that's just a lot stronger position to get yourself in. All right. And then it's a matter of transferring that energy. And what you're going to see is you're going to see how your elbow kind of just stays down and kind of comes through and then up. So you can see how, I'll make another mark here. So now you can see that elbow's gone uphill, but we want to try to get that elbow to its highest point back here, meaning just the ball. So we want to try to see, we don't want this elbow above your shoulder. We don't ever want to see that. What I'm meaning by getting up on top of the ball is that you're just farther back in this position, and that elbow is going to be at that same spot, but because what your lower body's doing, you're going to be able to stay up on top of that ball and drive it downhill instead of kind of lag that arm through. So now you're going to see that ball kind of more in a path, right around here. So it's just going straight down instead of down and then up. All right. So you can see that here. And then it's going to go up to there. So that's just something, again, that's going to come with strength and with age, and then through release, you're going to see yourself staying through that back leg a little bit longer. So at this position, you're going to be able to drive farther out over that front foot, and we're almost going to want to get that head and that chest at least over or completely front of that front foot. All right, so it's just a strength thing. Is something that you need to kind of work on and pay attention to, but just keep that timing, keep those hands together, and you want to break those hands as that leg goes down and you're driving those hips forward. All right, so everything's there to get going. It's just a matter of just kind of doing a little bit of work, and you're going to be good. So hopefully you're having fun this season, having a great time. Thanks for making it out to camp, and we hope to see you again with ABC.